1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Howdy! Welcome to the Lunch Table Podcast, a podcast where we don't wear deodorant and wonder why we smell. Really, it started off as a game where one of us wasn't supposed to wear it, but then we forgot whose turn it was. So now we both don't wear it.
What was that noise?
My stomach.
You need fed, homie.
Dude, I did eat before I came here. It was a steak.
It's working its way down.
It is. I'm going to get the downtown pushdowns at the end of it. And the man worried about my digestion. That's right. My right-hand man. Mr. Google himself. Drew, I failed as Santa. Watsonizer!
Yeah.
He kept all the gifts.
Malls don't like when you have colored hair as Santa.
Wow. Is there something wrong with color?
Yeah, brown hair.
Brown?
Just brown.
Oh, just the browns. Gotcha.
You look more homeless than Santa.
That's right, the guy who's trying to get his putty in trouble. Your host with the most.
Diarrhea stories.
I think you have more than me.
I don't think so.
Dude, when it comes to poop stories.
Poop stories? Yes.
Who's
Diarrhea.
on the throne there?
No, I was not vegan for 2 years.
That's when my poop was the most solid.
Right.
When I was vegan.
Right, so you have stories from before and stories from after. Do you know how much cottage cheese I eat?
Carl Jones! 1 pint per minute. We all know that, Drew.
Right.
We all know it's a pint per minute.
It is a rate.
We know. We get it. You eat cottage cheese.
True or false, is there a container of cottage cheese in my fridge right
True.
now? I'd be more surprised if you said false.
Let's get into it. Drew.
I quit smoking. And, that is not as dangerous for people around me that if I'd quit cottage cheese.
That is 100% true. You off of cheese, people would die.
Yeah.
Innocent children would get eaten. They're like string cheese.
Then I would take the lead for the most diarrhea.
Yes, you would.
Do I have to ding that? Do I have to ding diarrhea?
Yes, and poo, I think, right?
Poo?
Diarrhea. Well, it's a type of poo.
Watery.
Dude, it's a type of poo. You got to name it. Talking about
But
children.
if I say shitty situation, I don't ding that.
Well, this is your dinger. You're the one who made it. This is your weird, obscure rules, my man. Don't drag me into your lawmaking. I'm a free man, Drew. I don't follow laws.
Oh, really? You not wanting to be in charge of something for once? Oh, God.
Listen, I don't want to be in charge. I just don't listen to who's in charge, so they put me in charge. They're like, he does whatever he wants anyways. Might as well just give him a crew and tell him to get stuff done. You know, earlier we were talking about diarrhea and kids. We'll put diarrhea over here. Talking about the children, right? The other day I stole.
Diarrhea off my side.
It goes on your side. You brought it up. You know what, Drew? I'm going to take this. And I'm going to build a castle on it. And everyone's going to want to live in it.
Good.
So, I stole Jared's child the other day. All right? Not his youngest, okay? Not the 4-year-old, the 8-year-old.
Not the one that's in her belly.
Not the one in her belly. No, not that one.
So he's still the oldest.
The oldest, right?
Yeah.
I figure help him out a bit. Let me steal a child. So, I went over. I was like, hey, Uncle Carl's going to take you, and we're going to go to the mall. So, we put our way to the mall. Get there. I guess it started off, I got Jared into watching One Piece.
Uh-huh.
And Mason really liked it. He let Mason watch it, and Mason drill into it.
Okay.
Right? So I figured we'd go around to all the little cool shops in there, all the anime shops, and I'd let him nerd out. Because me and you always loved nerding out. And it's a cool little fun thing. Right? So we're going, we look at all the shops. In one of the shops, you see some One Piece cards. And I looked at them, and I was like, dude, those are kind of dope. So I told him I'd get us a pack. So I bought him a pack. I bought me a pack. I made him wait till we got to the car. We got to the car. We ripped them open. We enjoyed what we saw.
Yeah.
But, dude, that action of ripping that open.
Love it.
Just brought back so many memories.
Yeah.
And it really helped having him as a kid there.
Yeah.
Who's, like, opening them like I would my Pokemon. And it, like, I don't know what happened, but my nerd switched. And, like, now I'm just kind of sucked into the game. Now I want to buy, like, way too many cards that I don't need.
And binders for your
and
cards.
Binders and sleeves. And all kinds of, like, I just want to dive deep into it. Literally, I was looking at box sets. I'm like, dude, you don't need a box set. Why do you want this? And I think I only want it because I bought the box set of Magic one time.
How much is the box set?
Oh, my God. This is the only reason I haven't got one. Because they're like $100.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's too much.
For a hobby.
Well,
I have no room to talk. Don't look at me.
well, I can't say anything because like bowling, my bowling balls are almost $200 a pop.
Yeah.
And I'm buying those knowing they're going to get destroyed. And once I put holes in them, they're no longer.
I mean, you can
really
use them as weapons. If you
That's true.
really want to.
Good point. You could. And weights, you could lift them.
Yeah.
No matter what, they still weigh about that.
Yeah.
So, dude, but then I was talking to you about it. And now you came over and you're like, dude, I'll buy a deck and just play you if you want.
Right.
You gave me a nerd boner. Dude, I got a straight up nerd boner. I have to. I'm going to dive. I'm going to be the best card player ever.
You know,
I don't know about that. But.
You did the same for Magic with me. Your brother got you into Magic.
Yeah.
And like you played Magic with me all the time, and
yeah.
I was thankful for that. You didn't want to do it.
Sometimes I did.
Sometimes you did. Sometimes you had fun with it, especially when there were other people around.
Yeah.
But like, I could tell that it really wasn't your main focus.
Oh, well,
and I was like,
you're right.
I was like, I'm gonna not pay him back. That sounds bad, but
I wasn't in love with the game like you were, and I think that, and because I wasn't as invested, it made me a much worse player than everybody. Because like I didn't know really how to use them. I knew how there's some stuff I did know how to use. You give me an easy deck to run, I could run it really well.
Yeah.
And in Magic that means something. Like there's some decks that are really confusing and you need to know the two combos that you need, and without that you're fucked.
Yeah.
Where if you give me a more playable deck where it's like, hey, survive.
Do this.
Right. I can do that. But at some point it definitely got over my head.
Carl, you want to tell everybody what we're doing today?
Yes! First, we're nerding out, as you see.
Right.
Second,
we're not done yet.
We're going to go over car issues. A lot of car issues. I've had a little bit of car issues. Drew's had some car issues. We looked up some more car issues online. We figured every time you get a little bit ahead in life, just a bit. I've been getting...
Something's got to knock you back down.
Oh, it's always your car.
Yeah.
So always something stupid with your car. And dude, it's a good way to get stranded. There's many things that can go wrong with a car at any time, at any point.
Right.
So I figured, stay tuned. We'll see what kind of stories pop up. Dude, my week has been pretty boring.
Yeah.
And that's been nice. Like, work's been overly busy. No one's having any issues. Besides me and my car. But, we'll get there.
It also really sucks when you're a 2-people household and 1 car.
Yes.
I dealt with that for a very long time.
Well, and it would be different, too. Right now, I'm the only one who can drive.
Right.
So if we go anywhere, I have to go.
Uh-huh. You're driving for 2.
Yes. Yep. So, I've been pushing her to get her license.
And she's doing amazing.
She killed it. That's she was taking...
She is checking all the boxes.
She was sitting there doing the test, getting 98%. And I'm like, at this point, why don't you just go take it? I was like, you're going to pass it. That's the straight DMV test online. Those are going to be the same questions right on that sucker.
Yeah.
Just, hey, you're already scoring 98s. Like, you're ready, buddy. Go sign up and take it.
I asked her a quiz question today.
Yeah.
We had a ambulance behind us today, and on the way to the gym, and I had to pull over to the side, and of course she knew what to do for that. But what happens if you're in a turning lane and there's an ambulance behind you? What do you do?
What do I do personally, or
Yeah.
what does the law say?
Both.
Okay. Well, which way is it going?
It's behind you, coming behind you.
In the turning lane.
Yeah.
In the turning lane.
Yeah.
Then I pull over because obviously
You are in the turning lane.
yeah, and it's behind me in the turning lane.
Yeah.
Pull over.
Which way you turn? Which way you pulling over?
What do you mean? Up on that curb as hard as I can, so they can just go around. I mean, it matters what the turn looks like and how long is the lane for the turn. See what I'm saying? If
Okay.
it's a rough turn, I'll take the turn, then pull over.
Okay, visualize this with me. We're gonna have a picture up on the front here. You have one lane going straight. You have one turning lane to go left.
Yeah.
And then you have one lane coming the other direction.
Okay.
There's an ambulance coming behind here, and you are in the turning lane about to turn left.
Yeah. And they're going straight then.
Yeah, the ambulance is going straight. They're trying to get past you.
I'm turning.
The light's red. Your turn doesn't turn green.
No, they're behind me with their lights on.
Yeah.
Then it turns green.
Not the arrow.
It would have to. What,
Not-
you're going to sit there and tell me an ambulance can't turn?
So you're going to cut off an ambulance?
What do you mean?
You have to stop.
How are we
You
moving?
have to go around.
Right.
Are we going to have to pull the board out?
Yeah.
Because if they're behind me, then you either just pull over a little bit and you let them go around.
That's normally what they do.
Or if they're going straight, you turn anyways because you're not in their way. Or they're coming the opposite direction and you just stay put. Or, if they're...
Keep driving.
And
we
if
got
there's
this.
3 separate lanes, the only thing they're doing behind me is turning.
This light is green, but your arrow...
Is there anyone over here?
Yeah.
Well, then I pull over, he pulls over, they go in the middle.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just pull over.
Right.
Like I said.
When encountering an ambulance in the turning lane, you should yield the right-of-way by pulling over as close to the right-hand edge of the road as possible.
Well, that's wrong. I mean, like I said, legally. But that makes no sense. Why would I put myself in more... now I'm crossing 2 lanes. And the cars behind you are not stopped. So once you go through, and I got my car fucking sideways in the middle of 2 lanes, that makes no sense.
Right. This is why this was a great question for.
That makes absolutely no sense. The safer thing would be to hug the left as tight as possible and let them go down the center.
The safest thing would be just to run the red light and get the fuck out of there.
Well, I probably would.
I would too.
But I'm telling you, if there's an ambulance...
Do as we do, or do as we say, not as we do.
Answer the test to pass. Not to be correct.
Some states require drivers to change lanes to the farthest right lane, then pull over.
Nah, fuck you.
I'm going left. I gotta turn left.
I gotta turn left.
No, when there's an ambulance in there, you going down a block.
Yeah, fuck you. Listen, dude. I'll turn to the left. Everyone else can turn to the right. And guess what? There's going to be a wide open lane. If that fucker can't see it, he ain't saving a life.
That was fun.
Yeah. I want to talk to someone about that.
See,
You got to shorten the line.
those are the existential crisis that we had when we were 16 taking this test. Well,
Right.
this is worded funny.
It is.
Well, what is it? What does it mean when it says pull over to the left? Should I pull all the way over to the left? Should I pull part way over to the left? Should I make my car pull all the way over to the left? But I'm actually over there. Your ADHD 16-year-old brain goes.
Need more info. Need more info.
And the people at the DMV are like, fuck you, just answer the question. All right, dude, you ready to get into some meat and potatoes?
Okay.
The main reason that we are talking about car stories is because you've recently had some car stories, some car troubles, and I've recently had some car troubles.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the limelight first. Hit us
Okay.
with your story.
So the
I've
other...
been waiting to hear it. You haven't told me yet.
'Twas Thursday. We were at bowling, Sharon and I. Now the car didn't have problems getting there. We go bowl and we have all kinds of fun. We get back in the car. I start it up. Starts up fine. No issues. Get down the road. Sharon's having a good old time. She's talking. I'm noticing the air's getting warmer. I'm like, what the heck? A little light comes on. It says, problem with your charging system.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, crap. Not good. So I'm running off a pure battery right now.
Been there.
So, Sharon's just going on. She don't even know what's going on. So I'm like, I got to get the car home. I got to, because the way these BMWs are, I got to leave it unlocked. Because if the freaking battery dies, there's no keyhole for the trunk or anything to open the hood. So if it dies and those are locked, you're fucked.
I think I'd take my chances locking the door, leaving the window cracked a little bit. So
Yeah, but if you can, anyone else can.
yeah, but if you can open the door and it's unlocked, anyone else can.
That's fine. I left nothing in it. There's nothing. Oh, you want to sleep in there for the night? I guess go ahead. You can't warm up in it. The battery's going to die in 10 seconds. And the worst
Can't
part
charge
is,
your phone.
the worst part is, because it's a charging issue, even if once the battery dies, you can't jump it because there's nothing to keep the battery alive.
Right.
There's nothing to charge it. So if the battery dies, it's just a rock.
Pretty
It's
much.
just a fancy rock.
The capability of charging, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fancy rock, right? And I've looked it up before. How much it's going to cost to have some specialists come out and reopen your doors is ridiculous.
A brick is cheaper.
Yeah. I think replacing the whole window, you might be right, would be cheaper.
Aim for a small one.
So, I just parked the car for the night. As you know, I don't have a garage, so the car's just on the street. I'm like, I'm not going to tear into this thing. I'm pretty sure it's the alternator. It's about that time. I got about 150,000 miles. I looked it up. The alternator usually only lasts that long in these cars.
Okay.
So I park it, and I'm like, well, not much I can do about it right now. Might as well get upstairs. And we get upstairs, and I start looking how much freaking it's going to cost me. First, I look up how to do it, and I'm like, okay, I can do it.
The more numbers you look up, the more pissed you get.
Actually, I was surprised. So an alternator for my car almost all day, every day, any site you check is about $200.
Okay.
I was like, that's not awful. Okay, I can live with that. And to get to it, pretty easy. Take the air filter out, you take your belt off, and then you're right there. You take 3 bolts out, and boom.
Okay.
Takes your alternator off. 3 more bolts, puts it back in. Wham, bam, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. Okay, I could definitely do this. So
You have dainty hands that are still strong enough for bolts.
yeah, well, actually, too strong. We'll get there.
I have problems getting into the slot.
I know. I got those long, weird fingers. Those weird, sticky fingers.
Dirty.
Why are they sticky, CJ?
So all day, I wake up, I get it to work. All day at work, I'm telling people how I'm just hoping the car lasts, and I'm going to take it to AutoZone and get them to test my alternator and test my battery, see if my battery's just old and junky and if it can't hold a charge, or if it's my alternator going bad.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing that, Jared he's like, if you really think it's your battery, let me run home. I think I got a battery trickler or whatever.
Okay.
He runs, gets it, comes back. Here it ends up being not that, but a tester for your battery and alternator. I was like, great. Now I don't got to worry about taking my car to AutoZone and it just dying.
You can also get a multimeter. Good tool to have.
Multimeter?
Yeah.
Nice. I did read that.
Yeah.
Because you're just checking the voltage on it.
Yep.
Any
I stole my
hoozles?
dad's.
We hook it up. It's reading. Battery's good, but it's on one bar.
Right.
So my car was almost dead, and I was almost screwed. I got it at the Jared's, by the way.
Okay.
At the end of the workday, I got it at the Jared's. And
Shit, you could push it there.
yeah, except up the hill. You have to be strategic. I get it to Jared's, just reading all this stuff. I'm like, crap, I knew it. I knew it was the alternator. This sucks. I was like, might as well pop the hood. Pop the hood. I look down. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And here, my serpentine belt's on the ground. It just snapped. So I'm like, well, fuck. This day just got better. There's nothing wrong with my charging systems. There's just no belt fucking pulling any of it to generate it. Right? So I hurry up. I run to the freaking AutoZone or Advance, one of them, get my belt, run back, trying to put this son of a bitch on.
Yeah, you have to pull the tension.
Dude, the tension pulley. So we get there. I'm looking at it. I told Jared, dude, last time I had to do this belt before, when I first bought the car, it broke. I was like, I did it all by myself, not even an hour. I was like, it was super simple.
Okay.
So like, the belt not fitting isn't making sense. I'm like, I was like, this belt almost doesn't look right. I measure it up. It's all good. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to do. At one point, they usually tell you to change the tension pulley with the serpentine belt in the BMWs.
Okay.
I did not. It looked good, and I really needed it to work, and I didn't want to spend the money on it, so I said nah. And I've been trying to get this belt on. Well, those pulleys have a hole for you to stick a rod. That way, when you relieve tension off of it, it will hold the tension off.
Yeah.
That way, not every car has one of those. That way, like, you can take the belt, put it back on, and do what you need, and then pull the stick just to put the tension back on.
Yeah.
So, I'm lining it up, and I got this sucker cranked down, and Jared's over there trying to put this freaking pin in there. Dude, as I'm holding it, and, like, for some reason, we can't get it high enough. Like, it's just getting right there, and there's not enough room for this pin. Not enough room for this pin. Then my freaking wrench slips right off of it. That sucker comes back, snap. Right? All of a sudden it goes ping, 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 ping. We're like, what the fuck? Jared's like, dude, something just hit my glasses. Here, the tension pulley literally shattered. Literally shattered, just blew up everywhere. Dude, it's 9 o'clock at night. You know, I'm sitting there like, fuck.
It's getting dark out. It's getting kind of cool out.
It's getting kind of cool
Was
out.
it raining?
No.
It could be worse then.
It could be worse. And I'm sitting there like, what am I going to do with my car? So I start calling all over, seeing who's open, who's left, whatever. I call Advance. They're like, well, we got one, but it will take tomorrow for us to get it. And I'm like, well, tomorrow don't help. I need it tonight. I need it now. Like, the car needs to be running right now. So eventually I find one in Boardman. Okay. That's about 20-minute drive. I don't know. How far is it from here?
45?
Okay. Something like that. It's like the Youngstown Boardman area.
All you got to do is get there before 10 o'clock.
So I call them. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get there. My GPS says 10:01. I was like, I really need this pulley. It says you have it. Do you have it? Yes. Do you... First place I called, I gave them the info of my car, and they were like, is that a truck or SUV? And I was like, yeah, we're done here. Like, I'm not getting a part from you. But I tell them, I freaking run to the store. We get there just in time, get this pulley, get back home, dude. The pulley online, guess how much it cost online? If I had
25.
Yes. If I had the luxury of waiting for the tension pulley, it would only cost me $25 off of the website. Like, nice. Guess how much I had to pay for one to have it that night?
5 times that, 125.
Oh my god, dude! Almost, yeah, like 130 some bucks. You are 100% right. Like 130 some bucks for this.
I know my car parts. I've had to pay a lot of them.
It is ridiculous. But anyways, get it home. Get that sucker snapped on there. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It doesn't even take but 5 minutes to get everything on, fitting nice. And here, once I put that one on, I realized that the pulley of the other one was in the complete wrong position. So the entire time, the pulley broke my belt. Still spent $200 on the fix. I can't say I saved money because the belt itself was $40.
Yeah, but now that's not going to be a problem for a little while.
Either way, they both came with 3-year warranties. So
there you go.
If it happens again, it's all free to fix it.
All right, man. My story. I got a flat tire.
Yeah.
This was Monday, so not too far ago. I stopped at work to talk to my brother, and my brother had been yelling at some of the truck drivers in our parking lot.
Oh my God, for what?
Because they had been opening their door and sweeping their truck and all the trash and stuff into the parking lot that he parks in and stuff.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Because they're bored and they're waiting and they're waiting for their pickup and they're just cleaning out their truck and they see an empty gravel parking lot and they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. It's not like they throw McDonald's containers out there, but there's probably
metal.
Yeah, there's probably pennies and shit like that.
Shards of metal.
Right. My brother had, I guess, ran over something in his truck and got a flat tire and had to get a new one because of stuff in that parking lot. He took my mom's car one day when his was in the shop and also ran over something. I must have run over something. I get all the way back home. It's like a 15-minute drive. And I pull in, and just the moment that I back in, I see a sensor light. I'm like, okay, it's not cold enough that there's no air in my tire. Yeah. So I get out and I look around, and I don't see any of the tires. But I know that's what happened.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling.
You're like, I drove in that dangerous part.
Yeah. I walked in, and I said, I'm going to be mad, and I'm also going to have to move some stuff around. I said, I have a flat tire. Don't really bother me, because I'm going to be angry.
Yeah.
To pay for a new tire.
All right. Don't bring me any bad news.
I called Sharon, and I said, hey, you need to go to the gym without me, because it's going to be a while for me.
You sounded so irritated.
Sharon, the reason that I was irritated is because you were, oh man, that sucks. That's a shitty thing. I think I'm gonna go to the store later. Blah blah blah. I'm like, Sharon, I gotta go. And you're like, oh man, all right, I get it. I know. I think I'm just gonna walk to the gym, and I'll maybe see you there. I'm like, Sharon, I gotta go.
Yep.
I have to go to this place before it closes.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate you talking, trying to make me feel better. It was not in that moment.
No, you're right. That was not the time for it.
So I go back out to the car, and I notice that one of my tires is all the way down. Okay. And I'm thinking, I have to fill this up to keep it on the bead so that I can drive it somewhere. Or else I'm going to have to put the spare on.
Yep.
I was like, hey, I don't really want to dig out the spare and everything like that if it's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes to fill up this tire.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a little air compressor. I've put it in the car, and I filled up my tire, and I started driving, and it started to feel real wonky. I got maybe half a mile down the road to the gas station and went, all right, let me pull over and put some air in this. Right. Then I left, went another half a mile down the road, got to like this holiday store, and I went, it's feeling a little wonky. I should put some air in it. I got another half mile to the tire place, and I was like, I should probably put some air in this.
Dude,
how
did you make it home?
I walked in. I don't know. Something must have gotten worse.
Yeah, it must have gotten deeper.
But as I'm filling it up, I can audibly hear the air coming out of it. It's that big of a hole.
Yes. That's a pretty big hole.
It's a pretty big hole if you can hear it like that.
Yeah.
I walk into the guy, very nice gentleman, chipper for a Monday.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, let's go take a look. He goes and he looks at it. He goes, there is definitely a hole in your tire. I looked at it. There's a piece of brass about that big. Take the size of your big toenail. Length, width, curve. That's what was in my tire. Not a clipped toenail. Your whole toenail.
Jeez.
That was in my tire.
Wow.
And he goes,
brass, like...
yeah, brass metal.
Jeez.
He goes, it could have been worse. He goes, this tire was out of spec. It wouldn't have passed inspection. He goes, and your one on the other side also is out of inspection. Your other two are fine. I was like, okay, if it's going to happen, I'm glad it was happening to the one.
You're not the brand new one.
Right. Not the
But
ones
that's
that
probably why you also got the flat.
Could
is
be.
because your tread's not thick.
Right. No, it was thick enough. It's not bald. It just wouldn't have passed inspection.
That's bald.
No.
Close.
For another time. I walk in. He goes, let's get you 2 tires. You okay with that? And he's like, well, we have a deal for 4. And I was like, just give me 2.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a drive-up place where I had to go back out to my car, fill it up with tires so that I could go around to the side. $175 for 2 tires, including mounting, balancing.
That's total?
Yeah.
100? That's it?
175
For 2.
for 2 tires.
That's not a bad deal.
No, my tires are very
Flynn's?
yeah.
And we got pretty much same size. Mine ain't.
Right.
Oh,
They're a
crazy.
very popular size, so they're easy to get.
And cheap, huh? Like
They
that.
also beat out one of my rims. I was teaching somebody how to drive, and they might have curbed and bent one of my steel rims. So I went, hey, can you take a look at that? It's back to perfect now. But where I was getting at is I was waiting in line for them to take me, and I had to fill up my tire. 20 minutes later, I had to fill up my tire. Another 20 minutes later, I had to fill up my tire. And finally, one dude comes out and goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm trying to fill up my tire to keep the bead on
Right.
so that I can drive in there when you call my name. He goes, I got it. He goes, I'm just going to put you on the rack. We'll take you a little early and deal with you here in a second. Go in the waiting room.
That's dope.
Yep.
It was a bitch that it took that long.
Finished up my car, charged me, and I went on my way.
Nice.
It could always be worse.
Could always be worse.
Could always be worse.
Could always be worse.
All right, but I'm going to go through
Some of the worst ones. Some of the other bad options
Yes.
that we could have had.
I'm going to go through 2 stories here.
Okay.
Technically 3 stories. One is just really short. And a good point for you.
The people at home
Yeah.
who can't drive. I know everyone who's watching isn't a good driver. I'm out on those roads. I see y'all.
Worked at a Hess gas station in 2017, and some college girl with a 2016 Elantra with about 50,000 miles had an engine seize a block away from the gas station. Went to check the car, and when I checked the oil, it was black gum.
Gum.
Gum-like.
Ugh.
I asked her when the last time she got an oil change was, and she said, "What's that? I've never heard of an oil change."
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Get your oil changed.
Always change your oil. Actually, when it's black like that, you should probably change it.
Yes. All right. Big story here. One time I was driving home from school in my first car a few months after getting it. I was going to hang out with one of my best friends at the time, so I was following him back from his house. At one point in drive, I felt a little behind, so I sped up to catch up with him.
Uh-oh.
Next thing I know, I was going around a blind turn, and there was my friend sitting dead stopped in traffic.
Oh, God.
So, of course, I slammed on my brakes, but I still hit him pretty hard, totaling his car, but pretty minor damage to mine. He also hit the Civic in front of him, and the Civic hit the Tahoe in front of him.
Oh, jeez.
A 4-car pileup.
Oh.
So after the police left, we both decided that we should just go to our own homes and not hang out.
Ever again.
My dad told me to go back to my mom's house because it was closer to the crash site. So as I was driving home, I had to turn around. I decided to go to a nearby strip mall, and this was a quarter-mile away from the first crash site. And as I was turning in, I really couldn't see past the traffic in the lane closest to me. It was a 2-lane road. When I saw the second lane wasn't clear, I went. Turns out it wasn't clear, and I had pulled out in front of a Nissan Altima. They T-boned me. That totaled my car, and making this my second crash in 30 minutes, including the time the police talked to me after the first crash.
Oh my God, dude. I'd take his license. The kid's just not paying attention.
Must be.
Like, who flies? Who's like, oh man, I need to go faster. Oh, a deadly turn. Like, no, dude, deadly turns just rarely pop up like that unless you're going down a mountain or some crazy shit.
Funny, the first 3 comments are all, take this kid's license.
Yes. That kid don't need a license, dude. Oh.
You just sped and hit your friend, so you're just going to speed again?
Yeah, you flew around the corner, wrecked your friend, dude.
Right.
And ruined him because he didn't even do anything, and then you got him into a wreck. He's going to have to pay for the car in front of him.
Yeah. And potentially the car in front of that.
No. The car he hit will have to pay for that one.
Really?
Yes.
I thought the one that caused everything is the one that
Nope. Nope. Because the rule is you're supposed to be a car length away from people. So, if you're close enough that if someone rear ends you, you hit them, you're technically too close to that car. Yeah. It's your fault. So, when a big pile up like that happens,
it just
it's whoever you hit. The person in the very front is the only one who gets away with it all. But he also didn't cause or know it was going to happen.
All right, man, our second story here. Fifth story depends on what you think.
Okay.
Broke a tie rod mid-U-turn at 5 p.m. on one of the busiest intersections in Orlando.
Oh, my God.
Which left me blocking 1.5 of the 3 lanes. The tow truck took forever, and people were pissed.
What do they want them to do?
They yelled all kinds of horrible things at me. One guy even got out of his work van and threatened to beat me up.
About what? My car's broken.
But there was nothing I could do on my own. I couldn't turn the broken tire, push the car, and turn the steering wheel all at once. Thankfully, a van full of Latino laborers who spoke no English arrived and knew exactly what to do. One pushed, one turned the tire, and I steered and pushed as best as I could. They helped me get into a gas station parking lot and went on their merry way.
Yes!
Then the guy who threatened to beat me up came back as I came out of the gas station with my drinks. Him and his friends were mad that I had flipped him off in our last interaction, and I told them to shut the fuck up or help, and he got back in his van. So I kept the 3 of them from surrounding me as I scooted over to my car and quickly grabbed my breaker bar out of the trunk, and I was scared shitless. I didn't say a word, I just stood there with it in my hand.
Oh, God, menacing.
Thankfully, they left.
What's going on in Florida that a dude's broken down?
And they're trying to kick his ass.
They're trying to kick his ass and then come back. Like, it's one thing to, like, have that interaction, be like, you know what? Fuck that guy. We're out of here. And then you go down the road and you just bitch about him. Okay? The rest of the days is supposed to be about bitching about him. Not, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Turn this car back around. We're coming back at him. And then they bitch out. Like, you already waited in that traffic line for how long?
Right.
Like hours. It's a 3-lane highway. Not one. In Florida. Okay, they waited hours to get through there. You bitch at a guy. Then you go down the road. And at some point, you have to find a U-turn, which isn't easy to do on a highway.
Right.
That's really hard to do.
Right.
And then you got to go down, then come back up where there was a wreck, where there isn't, and then pull into the gas station.
Thank God for the van full of Latino laborers.
Yes. Thank the Latinos. Teamwork, man. They knew what to do without having to speak English.
Been there, seen it. Let's do it.
Right.
For people that you will see again
Yes.
week after week after week, if you play your cards right, we're at Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. At the Lunch Table PBJ. That's probably how you're listening to us. So if you are,
keep go ahead and doing that.
give me your best Donald Trump impression for this next one.
Okay.
We're on YouTube and Rumble at the Lunch Table PBJ. That might be how you're watching us right now. So if you are,
I see. I don't know how he really sounds.
it was Christopher Walken.
It was. It was a little bit Chris.
Finish it. Don't half nut me.
Trying to. I know those people. They're very good people. I know them. They're good. I'm the one who did it. I found it first. Watch them. Keep go ahead and doing it.
Pew!
Too early, Drew.
Give me the best, Bill Cosby. We're on Twitter at Lunch Table PBJ. That's how you can stay up to date with some of the stuff that we're doing, as well as take care of our polls.
I was walking in and talking, and I saw your drink open, so I put something in it so you can love my pole. Yeah.
All right, give me your best Richard Simmons. Whoa, we're on Facebook at the Lunch Table PBJ, as well as our fan page, the Munchies. That's how you can stay up to date in everything that we're doing, as well as tell us what you think.
Yes, group, get up, and we're all gonna do it together now. Ready? Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Tell us what you think.
That was good. I think there needs to be a Batman.
Oh, God.
We're on TikTok.
Wait. Acoustic Batman?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Your choice. You're the Batman.
Okay.
You're Batman now.
Gotcha.
We're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts at the Lunch Table PBJ. CJ takes care of those. Your Batman here has something to say.
I'm not the hero you need. I'm the hero you deserve. Go watch my little videos and share them too. Because I am the Bat Knight.
Your last one, I want to hear your best priest. Catholic priest.
Okay, like any priest?
You were raised Catholic, I know you.
Nah.
We're on Patreon at the Lunch Table PBJ. If you want to be one of those people that gives a little bit extra, that's the way to do it.
And on that day, he said we shall be done. So if you open up the hymns to page 436, we will all share together in verse 4 through 9.
Take me home, Father.
I'll always take you home. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for running a computer and getting shit together. Remember, it can always be worse. Peace.
Bye. Choo choo. It was in my yard.
This is a magic school bus.
Totally wrong show.
Smell it. Tell me it don't smell like beef jerky.
Yeah.
That's
Fight the urge to throw up in your first 10 seconds.
okay.
It's real strong because you're not ready for it in the first 10 to 15 seconds. You're like, ugh,
Oh.
and then you swallow it and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Isn't that bad?
It's not great,
Yeah. That's
but
why
it's not awful.
That's why that's my backup.